Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today into something I bet you use pretty much every day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, seed oils. We got a bunch of articles sent in, and it seems like people are kind of curious about seed oils.
Right.
There's a lot of debate about them.
Yeah.
Some headlines are like, they're so bad for you, and others are like, they're fine.
hmm
So we want to know, like, what's the deal? Are seed oils really that bad for us? Should we just stop using them entirely?
Yeah, they've definitely gotten a lot of attention lately. It's interesting how they've gone from just like a normal thing in our pantries
Right.
to this big nutritional controversy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So maybe we can start with like the basics.
Right.
What exactly are seed oils?
Okay, so seed oils are basically what they sound like.
Right.
They're oils that are extracted from the seeds of plants.
Makes sense.
So, things like canola oil, corn oils, sunflower oil,
Yeah.
all those are seed oils.
Okay.
And you probably have at least one of those in your kitchen right now.
For sure.
I mean, they're everywhere. They got really popular because they have a pretty neutral taste,
right.
so they don't really affect the flavor of your food too much.
Yeah.
And they can handle high heat, which is why they're used for, like, everything.
Yeah, baking, frying.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So then we get to this whole thing about omega-6 fatty acids.
Right.
And how seed oils have a ton of them.
Yeah.
And that's where things start to get complicated.
Yeah, there's this idea floating around that, like, omega-6s are just straight up bad for you.
Right.
But that's not really the whole story.
Okay.
Because omega-6 fatty acids are actually essential. Our bodies need them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we need them to function properly.
Yeah.
But we can't make them ourselves.
Oh, so we have to get them from food.
Exactly. We have to get them from our diet.
Okay, so it's not that omega-6s are like the enemy or something.
No, not at all. It's all about balance.
Okay.
Like imagine a seesaw, right?
Okay.
On one side, you have omega-6s.
Got it.
And on the other side, you have omega-3s. Both of them are super important for our health, but the seesaw needs to be balanced.
Right, I see.
The problem is the modern diet tends to like overload the omega-6 side.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it gets kind of out of whack.
So too many omega-6s, not enough omega-3s.
Exactly. And yes, seed oils can be higher in omega-6s compared to some other oils.
Okay, that makes sense. But some of the articles we got talk about how seed oils cause inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And they even mention this word eicosanoids.
Mm-hmm.
What is that all about?
So those articles aren't completely wrong.
Okay.
Studies have shown that a byproduct of omega-6 breakdown,
Okay.
which is called eicosanoids,
Eicosanoids?
yeah, those can contribute to inflammation.
Okay.
But the important thing here
Yeah.
is that these studies, they often use really high doses of omega-6s.
Oh.
Way more than you would ever get from just using seed oils in your normal cooking.
So
You're not going to like
Right.
drown yourself in omega-6s just by making a stir fry.
Okay, so it's not as simple as just saying like seed oils equal inflammation.
No, definitely not. It's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Like, think of eicosanoids as messengers in your body.
Okay.
They can send different signals.
Interesting.
They can signal inflammation,
Okay.
but they can also signal anti-inflammation.
Oh, wow.
So it really depends on the balance of omega-6s and omega-3s,
Got it.
what kind of message those eicosanoids are sending.
So even though some studies have found a link between eicosanoids from omega-6s and inflammation,
Right.
it doesn't mean that using a little canola oil in my stir fry is going to like
Right.
send my body into some crazy inflammatory state.
Exactly. It's all about context
Okay.
and moderation.
Right.
The evidence we have right now doesn't really say that using seed oils normally as part of a balanced diet
Yeah.
will lead to those negative health outcomes that some people talk about.
Okay, that is reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
But now I'm curious, are there any benefits to using seed oils? Or should we just avoid them altogether just to be on the safe side?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that fats in general
Okay.
play a bunch of different roles in keeping our bodies healthy.
Right.
They give us energy, they help us feel full after we eat,
Yeah.
they protect our organs, and they even help regulate our hormones.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is. And different types of fats have their own unique benefits.
Interesting. So it sounds like we need to be getting enough healthy fats.
Absolutely.
And the type of fat matters.
Yeah.
So where do seed oils fit into all of this?
Well, seed oils are a good source of unsaturated fats,
Okay.
and unsaturated fats are considered a healthier choice
Mm-hmm.
compared to saturated and trans fats.
Oh, yeah, those are the ones we're supposed to limit, right?
Exactly. We should be limiting those.
Got it.
But unsaturated fats, those are the good guys.
Okay.
And seed oils can be a really easy and affordable way to include them in your diet.
Okay, so instead of just focusing on the potential downsides of seed oils. Let's look at the potential benefits.
Absolutely.
I'm really interested to hear more about that.
Okay, and keep in mind, we're talking about the big picture here.
Yeah.
It's about getting healthy fats from a variety of sources.
Right, not just focusing on one type of oil.
Exactly.
So we're talking about balance and variety. It's like seed oils can be part of a healthy diet as long as we're not like only using them for all our fat.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You got it. It's about having lots of different sources of healthy fats in your diet.
Okay.
Like think olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds,
Yeah.
all those good things.
You mentioned olive oil. A lot of people are big fans of olive oil.
Yeah.
And coconut oil.
Yeah.
What do you think about those?
They both have their own cool things going for them.
Okay.
Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, is like a superstar when it comes to monounsaturated fats and antioxidants.
Interesting.
And there's actually been studies that link it to a lower risk of heart disease.
Oh, wow.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah, that's huge. I've heard that olive oil is better for cooking things on lower heat.
Yeah.
Like salad dressings.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's right. Olive oil has a lower smoke point than seed oils do.
Got it.
So it's better for things like drizzling over salads or using at the end when you're finishing a dish.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to use it for like deep frying or anything.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about coconut oil?
So coconut oil is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's got a lot of saturated fat.
Which isn't usually a good thing, right?
Right. We generally try to limit that.
Yeah.
But coconut oil has this special type of saturated fat
Okay.
called medium-chain triglycerides.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
I know, right? We just call them MCTs for short.
Yeah. MCTs?
And MCTs are kind of cool because they're metabolized differently
Interesting.
than other saturated fats.
Okay.
And some research suggests that they might actually be good for your brain.
Really?
Yeah, and they could even give you a little boost of energy.
Huh. So it sounds like each type of oil has its own pluses and minuses.
Definitely.
It's not really about finding the best oil.
Right.
It's more about picking the right oil
for
what you're doing.
Exactly.
And just making sure you're getting a good mix of those healthy fats.
I think that's a great way to put it.
All throughout the day.
Yeah.
So I think we've made it pretty clear that we don't need to totally freak out about seed oils.
Yeah.
They can totally be part of a healthy diet.
Oh, sure.
But we need to be smart about it. And remember that it's all about balance.
It all comes back to balance.
It always does. So for our listeners who are maybe feeling a little overwhelmed with all this info,
Understandably.
what are like the main things they should take away from this conversation about seed oils?
Well, first of all, seed oils aren't inherently bad.
Okay.
They can definitely be part of a healthy diet when you eat them in moderation.
Okay.
As part of a balanced way of eating.
So we don't need to throw out all the seed oils in our pantry.
Nope. Not at all. You can still enjoy that canola oil stir fry.
Okay.
Or use grapeseed oil in your salad dressing.
I like it.
Just be mindful of the overall balance of fats in your diet.
Got it.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that the omega-6 thing with seed oils,
Right.
it shouldn't make us like completely avoid them.
Yeah.
Omega-6s are essential. It's all about that balance with omega-3s.
Exactly.
That's what matters.
It's like a dance.
Yeah. So don't be scared of seed oils,
Yeah.
but make sure you're also getting enough omega-3s
Absolutely.
from things like fatty fish,
Yeah.
flax seeds, walnuts.
Those are good ones.
This has been super helpful,
Glad to hear it.
debunking some myths and clearing up confusion.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to see the forest for the trees.
Totally. But I'm wondering, what are some practical things that our listeners can do starting today
Yeah.
to make sure they're getting enough healthy fats from a variety of sources?
Oh, there's a lot of easy things you can try. Like, how about sprinkling some flax seeds on your yogurt in the morning? Oh, yeah.
Or next time you're baking,
Yeah.
swap out the butter for canola oil.
Okay. I like that. So, like, little changes can make a difference.
Exactly. You don't have to like completely change everything you're doing.
Right.
Just start incorporating different oils and fats into your meals.
Makes sense. And, of course, we can't forget about those omega-3s.
Oh, yeah. Those are important.
Got to get enough of those. So what are some good ways to do that?
Well, try to eat fatty fish at least twice a week.
Okay.
Things like salmon, mackerel, sardines.
Got it.
Those are all really good for you.
What if you don't like fish?
If fish isn't your thing,
Yeah.
you can add a tablespoon of ground flax seeds to your smoothies or salads.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. You know, it's funny thinking back to that seesaw analogy.
Right.
It really shows how important balance is.
Yeah, it's not just about omega-6s and omega-3s.
Right.
It's about looking at everything you eat and making sure you're getting a good mix of all the different nutrients. That's such a good point. Sometimes it's easy to get so focused on like one specific ingredient.
You can get lost in the details.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we forget about the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's not about being afraid of certain foods.
Right.
Or obsessing over every little thing you eat.
Yeah.
It's about finding a way of eating that you can stick with.
Yeah.
That makes you feel good.
Totally. And that nourishes your body.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, this has been a super interesting deep dive into seed oils.
I agree.
I feel like we've debunked some myths.
Definitely.
And helped our listeners understand how to make good choices about fats.
Hopefully.
Speaking of understanding, I have one last thought for our listeners to think about.
Okay, shoot.
We've talked about all these different oils and fats.
Right.
But our bodies are super complex.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, are there other things besides just the types of fat we eat that could affect how our bodies actually use those fats?
Yeah, like maybe our gut health?
Oh, yeah.
Or our genetics?
Interesting.
Even our stress levels.
That's a great question.
It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, there's always more to learn.
Always.
And the more we know about our own bodies, the better choices we can make.
I think that's a really important point.
Yeah, it's all about listening to your body.
Absolutely.
Paying attention to how you feel.
You got it. And remember, there's no one right answer for everyone.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for someone else.
Yeah, that's so true.
It's about finding what works best for you.
I love that. Well, a huge thank you to our expert for walking us through this.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, keep those questions coming.
Yeah, we love hearing from you.
We're always here to help you navigate the world of nutrition.
Absolutely.
Until next time, happy eating.